Good morning. I'm Ellen Sentier from Celtic Noir. And very good morning. As you probably know, tomorrow is full moon, full wolf moon, and that's ever so special for me. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Wolves are seriously personal to me. Absolutely, absolutely personal. And just one moment, let me see if I can do a share with you because I'd like to show you why wolves are so super personal to me. Can I do share? Why do I never get this right? Let's see what we've got. And oh, yeah, I think this might just conceivably work. Let's get ourselves sorted here. So, are you able to see this picture? I'm sure you are. Now, that's actually me with a lovely timber wolf, part of a pack, who is guardianed by a friend of mine. He doesn't own those wolves, and he knows he doesn't own those wolves. Those wolves own him, if anything. And he keeps, he's been keeping wolves for, now, when did I first meet him? 2020? 25 years, no, 2000, 25 years ago, I met him. And he's been keeping wolves in Britain. And before that, he also worked a lot with wolves, partly at the Yellowstone Project, but at other places too. And he lived with them. He learned to actually work with, live with wolves and be a part of wolves and understand their way of working, not put our scientific, um, anthropomorphic ideas onto them, because they're not. They're wolves. Wolves are not humans, but they do understand humans. And as I'm going to say again later on, they've actually been working with us for 50,000 years. We have archaeological records of this, including footprints. Anyway, as I said, wolves are really special. To get this close to a wolf, and he's not tame, he's wild. He lives with this human and he lives very happily with this human, and the human feeds him and looks after him, has tons of space. He's not kept in a cage. He's kept in a huge enclosure with the rest of his pack. His name is Mackenzie, and he is actually the protector of this pack. Wolves have, they don't have a hierarchy, they all have jobs. Like this one is very, very good with the cubs. This one is the decision maker. This one is the best tracker. The decision maker is almost always female. In fact, probably always female. She is the top female, the breeding female, and she is like the mother cauldron for them. And Mackenzie is the wolf who has taken on the job of being her protector. And just here, he's actually invited me in. He's invited me to be this close. He's standing practically on top of me, and he's allowing me to get this close. I'm touching him. My face is touching his fur. I think you can probably guess. That was just so, so wonderful. That was one of the most thrilling moments of my life. And if ever I get the chance, I shall go again and see if I can talk to, may not be Mackenzie, but other wolves in this pack kept by this wonderful man. Anyway, to go back to where I am, wolves are really big time for me. I adore them. I'm going to stop share. I adore wolves. As you see, I've been up close and personal with them, just small packs, and they've licked me and rolled me over and snuffled me and even trodden on me. And that's absolutely fine. I don't mind that in the least. I was just so thrilled that I was accepted. I was part of that pack. I think you can probably all get the idea of that. So I have three familiars, or three animal types, animal species, who are my familiar spirits. And the first, as you probably all know, is the Scottish wildcat. We'll talk about her some other time. I also have owls, and they came through my Uncle Jack, who I've talked to you about before, and I will talk again. And I have wolves. I first met wolves back in 2000, as I said. And when I did, it was like, uh, I felt a thread go out of my heart and come back from theirs. And this was from the alpha female again. This wolf gave me her thread, and I gave her my thread. And it was like we were connected. It was just too wonderful. And as some of you I'm sure will know, Wolf features largely in my latest novel, Dancing with a Demon. He's Jack's familiar, and Jack is my second lead character. Small aside, in writer speak, that's a deuteragonist. Yeah, I really did say all that word. You probably know the word protagonist. Well, that's your main character. Your deuteragonist is your secondary main character. Sort of think Watson with Sherlock Holmes or any of those. And you can also have, really, you can also have a tritagonist. Tritagonist. Wow. Really? A tertiary main character. I have in Dancing with the Demon. And if you've read it, you can probably guess who that is, but I'm not going to do a spoiler and tell you now. So, isn't it crazy all the jargon that attaches to professionals? We have doctor speak and banker speak and nerd speak and gamer speak and algo speak and marketer speak and teen speak and Gen Z speak and probably backside speak as well. And they all sound so important and special and intimidating. Yeah, they can be useful in maths. I'm wed to this crazy mathematician come physics bloke. And in maths and physics and chemistry and cooking too, it's really important to be accurate. In fact, if you're not accurate in what you say, you can screw up the whole experiment and, of course, the whole cookery dish. And of course, it's also very important to lawyers, where with legal speak, we've all read it, with legal speak, lawyers can confound everyone, and that enables them to con fortunes out of us. Oops, I'm on a hobby horse again. I'm getting off. Right, back to wolves. With wolves, I lean into my Brythonic ancestry this lifetime. And Brythonic is our ancient Proto-Indo, let me get this right, Proto-Indo-European tongue. That's about way, way back. It's ancient languages that they can actually establish and have found out about archaeologically. And ours, in Britain, is Brythonic. And it's that name that gave us the name of Britain for our country. Brythonic came down to being Britain. That's why we're called British and Britain. So, from that word Brythonic, and it's proto-original, that's the original bit that we've discovered so far, and the proto, let me do that again properly. The proto word, the original word that we've discovered so far for wolf in Brythonic is actually pronounced Blythe. It's spelt all weird. In Welsh, it's B-L-A-I-D-D. Double D is th in Welsh. In Cornish, it's B-L-E-Y-D-H, and that also comes out as a ch sort of noise. And in Breton, I love Brittany, adore Brittany. In Breton, wolf is Blaise. I actually use that name for Jack's wolf. That's the wolf. That's the name Jack's wolf has given Jack, the name of his familiar. So, how does all this work in with Wolf Moon? Well, I was brought up to know Wolf Moon as the first moon after sun return. That's the first moon after the 25th of December, when the sun begins to move northwards again after the 3 days of solstice. We did this a couple of podcasts ago. But you can always go and look it up. And it's worth it because that is astronomically our new year. That's our new year with regard to the universe, because that is when our sun starts to move northwards again. All time from midsummer down to midwinter. As you know, the Earth is moving further, and the sun is moving further and further south each morning as it gets up, as it rises. And then on the 20th, it stops and stands still, 21st. And then 22nd, 23rd, 24th, it appears to stand still on the horizon for 3 days. And on the 25th, it begins to move back northwards again. And that brings us, minute by minute, it brings us more light every day until midsummer. So for me, New Year is always on the 25th of December. The rest of it's all government stuff. And yeah, it's okay, it's useful, and I have a calendar just to make sure that I do appear on the right day for my dentist appointment, etc. But for real reality, it's the 25th of December. And then comes Wolf Moon. Wolves, as I said, are amazing creatures, and we've lived with and learned to work with them for the past 50,000 years. We've got a bit daft and unable to do this, particularly over the last couple of thousand years, and probably a bit since maybe 4,000 or 5,000 years ago, when we started to have ownership. Because when you own something and a wolf decides he wants to eat one of your cows or something, you get all cross because that was my cow and I want my cow. And wolf took it, nasty mean wolf, stole it from me. That's quite wrong. It's all completely wrong. And it all comes about through this damned ownership thing. But we will talk about that in another podcast. But wolf is very, very important. Wolf has taught us to live together. Wolves live in packs, as you know. And actually, as I said, they all have jobs and they all are, there isn't a hierarchy. There isn't a top wolf and a best wolf and a lower wolf and a rubbish wolf at the bottom. They all have different jobs to do. That's something I learned from this lovely wolf man I met. And they taught us this. And Wolf Moon still teaches us this every year as she comes round. And yes, I say she. Remember, the wolf pack is led by the female. So Wolf Moon can tell us about this every time of Wolf Moon. So what I thought I would do with you now is take you on a little journey, a little Wolf Moon journey. So would you like to come on that with me? I'm sure you would. So first of all, just be sitting comfortably. Sit somewhere quiet. Better if you sit because then you won't fall over. So sit down somewhere. You can lie down if you want to, however you want. Just be comfortable. No funny yoga poses, just comfy. Shoulders loose, legs loose. Wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Make sure you're nice and loose and relaxed. And then just watch your breathing. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And feel that you've got threads that connect you right down to the heart of Mother Earth. And they also connect you right up through your body, through the atmosphere, to the heart of Father Sun. So you're held between Earth and Sun, both of whom are caring for you and looking after you and guarding you. So how about you just now find yourself in what I call your heart cave, your special cave, your hearth, your heart. And find yourself there comfortable. It's yours. You can feel it. It is your space. And as you're there, you look out over the threshold. And slowly, you're looking out into the darkness out there. Slowly, the light on the horizon, behind the naked branches of the oak tree, grows lighter and lighter. And a flash of silvered gold happens. It's the first sliver of the moon's circle as it rises above the horizon. And you wait and you watch. You're holding your breath as the enormous disk of the supermoon climbs the sky. The supermoon, wolf moon, climbs the heavens out of the east, and as she does so, she slowly, slowly floats southwards, and higher, and higher. And soon the night is near as bright as day. But everything is monochrome. The moon works in silver and darkness and silence. She defines shadow for us, and Wolf Moon does this particularly well. I'm sure you know, without shadow, we can't see edges. We don't know boundaries. We don't actually know the difference between self and other. Wolf Moon shows us this in her monochrome, in the dark and the light. You see her light because of the darkness, and you see the darkness because of her light. And through this, Wolf Moon shows us how to know our own pack and how to know our own self. She shows us how not to pick up and carry the baggage of others, but allow and enable them to carry it for themselves. So Wolf Moon shows us our autonomy. She shows us how we can be our own true, authentic self. And she reminds us, with a chuckle, of what the poet Oscar Wilde said. Be yourself, he said. Everyone else is taken. And Wolf Moon reminds us of that. Wolf Moon also reminds us of wolf pack behavior. How, as wolves, we never try to transgress the boundaries of other wolves. That's not done in wolf etiquette. If somebody accidentally does, as youngsters do, we know that, we give off an air snap, ow, that says, back off, you're in my space. It's not a bite. We don't actually touch anybody. We just show that we can bite. And we say, do that again and I might bite you. The air snap warning gives that warning. It says, back off. You're in my space. And Wolf Moon shows us how to accept that gracefully. For wolves do. They don't get aggressive and set off and do the attacking because somebody snapped at them. They may when they're cubs, but they soon learn that's not a good idea. Especially when mum has them on the ground and is going, don't you do that again. So we learn quickly as young wolves how to accept that we actually trod over somebody's boundaries. And we back off, and we back off gracefully. Wolves just never do transgress. And I learned that in my time with wolves. There's this deep difference between aggression and minding your own boundaries. And they showed me that. They showed me that it's good to warn a pack mate. I nearly trod on somebody's boundary, and I just got to, don't do that. And back straight away. They showed me that the warning is good when somebody treads over your boundaries, and that you need to do it. You need to say, thus far and no further. They didn't do it with me because I had enough sense to back off, but they could have said, I'm going to bite. And I could have got a nip, but I didn't because I backed off. This is something Wolf Moon shows us how to do in our relationships with everyone else. We need to sometimes go, no, enough, back off. Don't say that again. Don't do that again. And we also have to learn that if someone does it to us, we must back off and say, oops, sorry. Wolves show us how to do this. And they show you how not to take that warning personally, how to accept it, and just say sorry and back off. And they show you too how that warning and you learning to accept it reinforces your own self-confidence. When I got that air snap from Mackenzie, when I was a little bit too close, a little bit over his boundaries, then I found that it really reinforced my self-confidence. I knew I was me, he knew I was me, and I knew myself much better. I was able to relax and not need to get close to him, but let him come close to me. I got far less uptight, so I wasn't feeling threatening to Mackenzie, and he was able to come to me. And he did whisper in my ear, if you stay loose like this and don't get uptight, you're a much pleasanter person to be with. I loved that, and I haven't forgotten. Now, Wolf Moon will do all of this in her rising for us. So here you are in your heart cave, and she's told you all of this stuff. She's telling you, I can show you how to manage your own boundaries. And this year, because she's a supermoon, she's really helping. She's bigger. She's reinforcing her offer, offering to shore up our own insecurities by showing us how letting go boosts our own self-confidence and makes us stronger. She tells us vulnerability is strength. Never, never make the mistake of thinking it's weakness. It so is not. When I lie down, she says, on my back and offer my throat to a pack mate, I'm gifting him strength. I'm gifting him trust. And I'm so enabling him to know he does not have to be aggressive to me. In your world now, dear humans, you have loud, aggressive voices trying to steal your power. Do not allow them. But don't do this by attacking in your turn. That's playing their game. Sidestep. Take a step in another direction. Go another way. Change the topic of conversation. Don't just say no. Say, I'm walking this way. I'm not doing as you tell me, but walking a different path. This is my own path. I will walk my own path, and you can walk yours, but you will not force me. Remember this, dear humans. We've walked together so long now, humans. I've shown you how to live, how to be a loving pack, how to be a loving pack member, and how to hunt, how to bring up your cubs. I've been doing this for 50,000 years now, 50,000 of your years. Remember how I walked with you, how I walked with your child, in the caves of forgotten dreams, down in the south of France, the Chauvet Caves. Remember that. The mud there has become stone, but our prints, my wolf prints, the child's human prints, they're still there, reminding you of how much you can learn from me. Come with me this wolf moon, and I will show you. Tomorrow, 3rd of January, is wolf moon. So, come out of your heart cave now and just consider tomorrow is the wolf full moon, but you have tonight to prepare to meet the nearly full moon, and you have the full moon tomorrow, and then you have 3 nights after that full moon to continue your visit with wolf moon and learn from her. All you need to do is to just sit, even indoors at your window, where you can see the moon. Just sit there and watch her. Watch the clouds maybe spin over her. Watch how she changes the light. See how everything sparkles silver and silent in the night. See how shadow and light show you difference and boundaries. Just be there with Wolf Moon and allow her to show you. She'll put ideas and pictures and thoughts and sounds, maybe even smells, into your head. Take those in. When you've done, and it may only take a few minutes, doodle yourself some notes about what Wolf Moon showed you. And then just keep looking at them every day, just for a moment, over a cup of tea. Not reading, not trying to engage, not trying to think whatever they're saying. Just allow them to flow into you, as the light did when you were watching the moon. And they will bring up ideas and insights for how you can be. Wolf Moon, she's wonderful. She leads the wolf pack and she leads us into the year. The first moon after the astronomical new year of the 25th, as well as after the government new year of the 1st of January. She's the leader into the new year, saying, let go of what is no longer needed and be open to what can come. And be yourself. Be your real, authentic self. She is our guardian, our cauldron. She's the cauldron for the whole pack. And she is our mother too, if we will allow her in. I'll be doing that. I've already started with you now. And I shall speak to her again tonight when she rises, and tomorrow, and for 3 days after that. I'm allowing Wolf Moon to show me what I need. You going to come with me? That's it for this week's podcast, and I look forward to seeing you all on the other side next week. So, bye for now.